Alright, what I got in front of me is Sony's most powerful, latest action cam. This is the X3000, and I got the GoPro Hero 5 Black. Friend let me borrow this, and I'm going to do a good meat and bones comparison on these. There's a million videos out there, and I want to make one that'll show the true capabilities of everyday use, not sitting and talking about features and stuff like that. The Sony and the GoPro are the same price. Once you throw in the live view remote, you're talking $549. And this does actually have full control of the camera now, and it does a damn good job, but you're paying $150 for it. But one cool feature on that alone is the thumb grip you get. Plug the camera in, unmount the live view from the watch band, and you're looking at an ultra small regular camcorder. Pretty neat. But you're having to pay for it, another $149. Whereas the GoPro, you got your rear screen, and it's a touch screen. 2-inch screen, change all your settings, seems very accurate. Really like this, full control of everything on there. Very easy to use interface. Hands down, the GoPro better than the Sony in that aspect. I'll tell you that right now. But I do like the live view remote on the Sony, but you're paying for it. And as far as charging, sometimes these doors are hard to open here. GoPro has got its own unique little charger that you have to use. You can't use a standard phone charger or anything like that. And one of the bad things about this, it's got to be out of the housing where you mount it on stuff in order to charge the damn thing. And for the most part, if you're on the road, that ain't no big deal. Sony, they got a back door. You got a regular micro USB charger on that from any phone. You got your HDMI out to view on another screen, and a 3.5mm jack on the back. And you can use all that while having the camera mounted to a standard 1/4-20 tripod thread or any mounts that take that, and you got full access to the back side of it. And that is huge for just doing, say, outdoor shots and that, where you're around equipment that you want to hook up for, say, good sound, a shotgun mic or whatever. Whereas the GoPro, you don't even have a 3.5mm mic. You're going to do the sound from the inside. In the Sony, I measured it out at full 4K on each one, is running 11.6 megabytes per second on video, where the GoPro is only 7.2 megabytes per second. So you're pulling in a lot more information on the Sony. So what we're going to do is get started right now on a good all-around video comparison and skip through the other options and features on this. GoPro better than the Sony, or the Sony better than the GoPro for everyday videoing. So let's get rolling. All I'm going to do is I took a piece of plastic. We're going to mount both cameras side by side and try doing a video of majority of the time the GoPro on the left and the Sony on the right, but sometimes it might be one or the other, and we're going to see what we can come up with. All right, started out with, I got both cameras side by side, and I'm running 4K at 30 frames a second on each. We'll go for a little walk. Of course, the Sony's got the Boss stabilization. I'd made this video before, but somehow inadvertently deleted it. I don't have much of any other options in 4K. This is just a 4K test, or somebody probably would want the best footage they possibly could get. Now, I've dropped the GoPro down to 2K, where the Sony doesn't have 2K. And I'm running both of them at 60 frames a second. And the Sony at 60 frames, it can only run 50 megabytes a second. The reason why I got 60 frames a second, so you won't see the shakiness or jittering when you pan it from side to side as much. It's real prominent in the woods when you're down to like 24 frames a second. It's real choppy. Now this here GoPro's got I would say an edge over Sony, being able to run at 2K with image stabilization on. But just how good it is, we're going to find out. Of course, I'm running Boss on the Sony. Alright, here's 4K, 24 frames a second, everything in auto on cameras. And the sun is down over the horizon. This is a dusk test. Got a lot of wind blowing. And this is dusk. I'm going to try to see if I can adjust some settings to make it both better. Alright, on the GoPro, we're in Pro Tune. I got the ISO turned all the way down to 400 for a max. And on the Sony, we put the exposure down to negative 2.0. The Sony, it looks like I went a little too far. So I'm going to adjust that Sony up. Alright. Same thing. Now I got the Sony at -1 for exposure. Once again, dusk out, both cameras are in full auto, turn on and go, 4K, 24p. Alright, we're doing a night shot now with my yard lights on, both cameras 4K, 24 frames per second. I'll see if we notice any difference. Both cameras are on 4K 30 frames a second. Last but not least, we'll do the comparison of them just sitting here. Both of them are at 4K, 24 frames a second. Flip back and forth. Alright, I wanted to look at the footage on 4K, and I really did not like the GoPro. So what I did is went into Pro Tune, and I got the ISO set at 3200 max, and then the sharpness on medium. And the next step up on the GoPro is 6400, which would be maxing it out like it was before, but the max it'll do now is 3200 ISO. Of course, you'll lose some of your light, but maybe it won't be as grainy. Alright, this test we'll do individually. I'm going to run the GoPro first, and we're going to run 1080p at 120 frames a second, and I'm going to try to see just how well this picks up this fan blade spinning. We'll turn her out on probably low or medium, I don't know. Do her medium. Alright, Sony, you cannot adjust the shutter speed, so we're going to do it 1080p at 120 frames a second. Start it out on medium. Now this is where I do believe the GoPro is going to shine. I'm going to be in Pro Tune, putting it back on medium at 960 frames a second. You notice there is no blur now. Pretty neat. That's Pro Tune on a GoPro at 120 frames a second with the shutter at 1/960th, I believe. Alright, there you go. The GoPro versus the Sony. I really love this rear screen on the GoPro. You can see it damn near broad daylight. Very easy. Touchscreen is just awesome on this thing. That's just an incredible feature for such a small action cam. And as far as the Sony, you just can't go wrong for the image quality on that from what I'm seeing. And that boss stabilization, tremendous help to it. There's some minor things on these cameras that are good and bad. And the GoPro, to get in and out of this housing kind of sucks. And I don't know why they have this access door here to where for the charger, you can't open that door. But then, of course, the port is there. And that's kind of weird because if you were to put it on a mount and wanted to charge it like for a long time lapse, which both these cameras do them, you can't do it with a GoPro when it's in the housing. Maybe there's a different housing or something that you can pick up that you could get that, but this is what it came with. Of course, the Sony, like I said, open that back door, you can charge it while it's mounted. Thought that was pretty cool. And then the other one, putting SD cards. Sony's a little awkward, but you can actually put in and out without too much hassle. You don't need say a longer fingernail. The GoPro, if you cut your fingernails, you're going to have a hard time getting that in and out. But that's just minor. GoPro being able to control the shutter speed in ISO at night, a big help. Turn on and go, the Sony, just full auto, I would say is better, but you can Pro Tune that GoPro to make it pretty usable footage at night. High speed, same with a GoPro. If you want to see movement like you saw in that fan, you can run that shutter speed up to 1/960th of a second. Does a good job at eliminating blur. All in all, Sony, turn on and go. 4K memory. Sony seems to be recording about twice as much information, maybe about, I don't know, 50% more, not quite 50% more information in a GoPro. Both of them are pretty awesome. Person have to take your pick on what they want, what they utilize. GoPro, waterproof right out of the get-go. You don't have to put a waterproof housing on it, although it comes with one. Sony is splash proof. You'd have to throw it in a waterproof housing, take it underwater. So there you go. Check out my other videos, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe.